Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Toon Treasures. So today I have something very special to share with all of you, a little conversational piece about The Simpsons. I can safely say that it is one of my personal favorites just because of the humor and the parodies associated with The Simpsons. Without further ado, let's begin. I had to have a piece of Jeffrey Albertson, also known as the comic book guy. So the comic book guy, Jeffrey Albertson, came into the Simpsons universe in season 2, episode 21, which aired May 9th, 1991. He was featured in his first episode in Three Men and a Comic Book. The episode about the three kids, Bart, Milhouse, Martin, trying to chip in to get the first issue of the Radioactive Man comic. I had to have a cell of Jeffrey Albertson because I found him to be the most unique yet relatable character in the show. What I have for you is a little treat. It's one of my favorites in my collection. It sits all the way at the top of my Simpsons pile. And it is this right here. So over here, what we have is, I have it all in plastic. I like to call it implasticated. It's not a real word. Essentially, we have here, I'm just peeking over to make sure we have everything in frame. A cell about Bart and Jeffrey kind of bartering over the comic there. What's really notable over here is you have the code that they used, Fox used, which is SM7F21-166. So basically, SM7F21 is the production code that they used. And then you have the scene number and the particular sequence number there as well. It's an amazing piece. On the back, I have here the certificate of authenticity. Now, this piece I absolutely love. I don't even know if I'd ever be able to part ways with it just because of what it captures, the fact that it's from the second season, and it's just raw Simpsons. The general consensus is The Simpsons kind of fell off after, I believe it was the 10th season. I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But the early seasons tend to be the ones that were rich with humor. They were very unique. They were blazing the trail. Super important. Historically, this was significant because then you also have the comic book guy, Jeffrey Albertson, coming into several other episodes in the future. So this is definitely something that I think for the most part people really enjoyed. I could definitely say that I'm not that far away from him, both in the balding and also in the fact that I collect a lot of things, and I'm probably going to end up becoming bitter and sarcastic just like him when I'm trying to sell my stuff light years away, hopefully. This one in particular, again, I do have to show it off. I can't express enough just how happy I am with this piece because, again, it's just raw Simpsons. It's fun. It really captures the emotions of Bart. You know, as a kid, you're trying to get that comic. You're trying to get that one thing that you're fixated on. So you'll do whatever it takes to get it. And in this case, Bart, Milhouse, and Martin, they kind of pool their resources together to get this comic book, and they try to share it. And well, if you've seen the episode already, you already know what happens. And if you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it for you.
Wait a minute, Martin. If you, Milhouse, and I went in together, we could buy a copy of Radioactive Man #1 right now. Wow!
Here you go, mutton chop yet.
I don't want it.
Freaking.
This serves to present a side-by-side comparison between the production cell and the actual scene. Back to the video. It's a great show. It's a good start. Again, fantastic piece. I love it to death. I also do have a bonus piece, so a second piece for you all. And it is this one right here. Okay. Also with the comic book guy, because we're on the topic of the comic book guy, I'm trying to get the least glare possible here. As you can see, we have not just Jeffrey Albertson, but we also have Principal Skinner, Seymour Skinner, and we also have his mom in there. This is from Worst Episode Ever. That is the title of the episode there. The information just right there, the production number, and over here at the front as well. Just going to show that off right there. Not only is The Simpsons a fantastic show, but they produced a lot of original production cells that they did end up releasing. I'm very excited to show off the one that I have. I mean, I'm a huge fan. I love it. I think that the show overall was very innovative, especially for its time. The writing was incredible. You had Conan O'Brien and a bunch of amazing writing staff just writing out bangers. Back in high school, I would just binge that. It was something I didn't get to enjoy growing up. I had parents who deemed it, something that was absolutely off limits for a child. So I didn't get to watch that. But it created a little demon in me, and the collector demon, along with the fact that, I didn't get to experience this as a child. It was almost a forbidden fruit. You put those two together, you mesh it, and then you end up creating this little demon who's going to collect the art and binge watch the show. I highly recommend the show. I recommend the collection as well. I mean, having the original production art, I think it's an excellent collector's item to have. You can frame it. I don't recommend it if you are going to display it in an area where there's going to be direct sunlight. You want to avoid having that in direct sunlight. But it's definitely nice to show off to people. I don't really do it that often. I'm showing it to you guys, but I keep it pretty secure. Not a lot of people in my actual personal life know that I have a collection like this, but you guys get to enjoy it with me. Now, with the show and tell out of the way, I wanted to go ahead and share what I personally believe is the safest way to shop for Cels. First and foremost, I think it's very important to really look for studio seals. Okay, I think that's number one. You want to basically kind of try to zero in on having a studio seal. If there is an actual animation code on it, that's an even bigger giveaway that it is authentic. Because there were thousands and thousands that were used to create each episode, it's important to note that not everything gets released. So everything that they created, that they painted, it's not all going to be out there in the world distributed. A lot of it may have been kept at the studios. A lot of it may have been destroyed. We don't know for certain. What we do know is what did get distributed. Some of them do carry these seals of authenticity, and also with the little code. I don't know if you could see that right there. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to get that there. Right there. Look at that dirty nail. When you have that, you can already have a lot more confidence in what you're going to purchase being more authentic. So that's the first thing. The second giveaway you want to look for, you're going to try to match up the scene with the actual show. Most times, they're not going to tell you which episode it's from. But you could always leverage Google. You could always use different types of image identification tools like AI to determine from which episode and which scene this piece may have been used. In my case, I got lucky because they photographed the certificate of authenticity. They put which episode it's from, so I can narrow down my search and match up the actual scene with what was used in the show. So the scene from the cell and the scene from the show, obviously they're one and the same. I'm just saying in terms of the actual piece that you're looking at when you're shopping, if you're shopping online, you want to make sure that they both line up. You can't really see it because it's covered under the tape, but essentially you're going to see some markings right there. I do apologize for the quality here, but you're going to see some studio markings on the bottom right. Now, to some people that might look like gibberish, but as I mentioned earlier, these are the markings for them to mark the episode, the scene, and then the sequence in which this particular cell was photographed. So with all of that out of the way, you obviously want to make sure that the certificate of authenticity, as mentioned before, is there. That's just a way to certify your purchase, to give you that additional confidence knowing that you are buying something that is legitimate. You also want to double check, make sure that where you're buying from is a reputable source. There are some malicious people out there who do attempt to counterfeit certain things. If they don't come with a certificate of authenticity, if it doesn't come with the seal, and if you're having difficulty trying to match up the actual episode with the cell that is being sold, chances are it may not be legitimate. My personal go-to method of shopping for these is really trying to find the seal, trying to find the certificate of authenticity that goes along with it, and trying to match up the scene. If you can't do those three, you're better off skipping. Now, you're probably asking yourself, well, where do I go to purchase one? So I go on eBay or Heritage Auctions, and what I do is I type in original production cell. Preface that with the show you want to collect pieces of. So for example, if you're looking for The Simpsons, you type in The Simpsons original production cell. Let's do this together. So let's say I want to find The Simpsons original production cell. That's my most recent search. I'll go ahead and I'll type that in. And look, you have a list here. You have a couple of Simpsons original production cells. So let's click on the first one here. And what do we see? Well, we have right here Bart, Milhouse, a dog. But most importantly, what we're looking for really is the seal of authenticity from the 20th Century Fox Studios. It also comes encoded with the production number, the C, I believe that's a 1453. I don't know. I'm geriatric, so my vision's fading. You also have the markings on the bottom right, which I mentioned earlier, and you have them over here as well. It shows the year that it was created. And then you also have this certificate of authenticity just right here. It provides you with the episode, so you can refer to that whenever you're trying to scene match the production cell with the actual show itself, whatever was released. If you have DVD format, or if you want to go on Disney Plus to take a look at The Simpsons, you're more than welcome to do that. So that's what you have first and foremost. And then let's say, for example, you feel like, not a huge fan. Let me try this one. Funny enough, look who we have here. We have our friend Jeffrey Albertson, the comic book guy. Also comes with the certificate of authenticity and the seal, along with a much clearer C1530. Shows you the animation art from 20th Century Fox. It also has it indicated right here at the bottom. And then you have the studio markings. Again, some of it is covered in tape. I have a feeling that our buddy Zilla Cave over here, shout outs to Zilla Cave, and I probably sourced ours from the exact same supplier. Could be wrong though. And now I also want to show you what it would look like in Heritage Auctions. So Heritage Auctions is another reliable source. Personally, I've never bought from here, but I have bought pieces. I've purchased pieces from eBay, which were originally sourced from Heritage Auctions. And I can honestly say that you can shop comfortably here. You can shop with confidence, knowing that that is the case, that you're going to be getting something legitimate. So now I typed in The Simpsons original production cell. Over here, this is an auction house. It's not very likely that you're going to find something that you could purchase immediately. Like over here, you can on eBay. This one is not an auction. This is buy it now. Whereas on Heritage Auctions, well, look at this. This is going to be released on the 21st of August to go up for bid. And so we have here a scene from Three Men and a Comic Book. So from the same episode that I showed the original cell with Jeffrey Albertson and Bart. Really cool. Again, they even have the year, 1991, when the production cell was created. And it also includes their certificate of authenticity. I've encountered at least 3 different types of certificates of authenticity. This one I've encountered. I do have a couple of pieces that have that one. I've encountered another one, which is the white one that I showed earlier on the back of the three men and a comic book. I almost said 3.5 men. 3 men and a comic book cell. And then also this one from the one worst episode ever. So don't be afraid. Those 3 are the ones that are in circulation that I'm aware of. And I genuinely believe that if you're going to start your production art collection yourself, just a tiny bit of research will go a long way. I definitely do trust these certificates of authenticity, and I do trust this piece as well that is up on Heritage Auctions. It also has a seal along with its own code, and you can see the markings. These weren't covered with the tape, which is excellent, similar to the one that I had from the same episode, which I showed earlier. So guys, thank you so much for joining. I wanted to share with you guys the screen recording so you can see how it is I go about purchasing my own Cels to add to my collection. I want to thank you for tuning in for this long. I know it's going to be a long episode, but I want you to shop with confidence. If you're going to build your own collection, I want to make sure you guys have the correct guidance. I did my own research, and I do recommend you do your own research, but those are my tips. My name is Jerry from Toon Treasures, and I hope to see you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much. Bye.